Hello, this is David Bard, the United Methodist Bishop for Michigan. On occasion over the years, I've had a chance to teach a unique form of praying. It's called a body prayer. It's a prayer that you pray with motions, not with words. I've taught it a couple of times since becoming the bishop here in Michigan, and late last week, someone to whom I had taught it asked if I would tape it and put it online. So here goes. I'd like to explain the prayer, and then we will pray it without the words. So the prayer can be prayed standing or sitting, it doesn't matter. I'm standing. Begin by taking your hands and placing them together. We're creating sacred space, sacred time. And as our hands touch one another, it's a reminder of the grace of human touch, a grace which we're missing in a certain way during this time of the coronavirus pandemic. So put your hands together, create sacred space, sacred time. And during this time, we want to give thanks to God for God's grace, God's goodness. And one traditional way of doing that is to lift your arms up in praise to God. Give thanks to God for God's goodness, God's grace, God's love. Even in the difficult moments of our lives, we can experience that grace, that goodness, that love. And we give thanks to God, praise to God for that. Now move your arms down slightly. Become like a human chalice. Pray that God would pour God's grace, God's spirit, God's power into your life. Let the refreshing waters of baptism renew your spirit. And as God pours God's grace, God's love into your life, wrap your arms around yourself. Let God's love touch the deepest parts of who you are. Let God's grace touch the hurts, the grief, the wounds, the sadness. Let God's grace do its healing work. Feel the warmth of God's love embracing you. But as God's people called to follow Jesus, we are not hoarders of God's grace and God's love. We extend ourselves in service and love to the world. We engage in acts of mercy and compassion and justice. So we extend ourselves hands out. And then the prayer ends in this sacred space, sacred time. So let's do it now without the words. I hope you will pray this prayer with me often. Thank you, and be blessed.